I will just teach for like half an hour, and then any doubts you have or anything I miss, you just tell. Okay. So we're gonna start with C, right? So your background is Python. So let me tell the difference between C and Python. So this is one of the things you're supposed to know. I'm not sure if there is in the course, but you should know. Okay, so there's difference between. So what does any machine understand? It understands 0 or 1. Okay, that's the basic unit of information, and this is called as a bit. Okay. So now, whatever program you say, print hello world, what is the computer won't understand? At the end of the day, it only understands 0 and 1. So how does this print hello world get converted into 0/1? Now that is where we need something called as language translators. Okay. Now there are multiple types of language translators. Okay. The main types are compilers and interpreters. Now C, C++, what else? Pascal, all these languages use compilers, while Python, JavaScript, all the new programming languages uses something called as interpreters. Alright. So the difference between compiler and interpreter is that compiler goes through the entire code in one go. Interpreter goes through the code in line by line. Okay. This is just some context. Now, so you have studied Python. So in Python, because the interpreted language and it's a new language, Python is dynamic. Okay. Python is dynamic. So that way you can literally in one line you can say x is equal to hi, and then next line you can literally change it to like 306, 304 or whatever, and it won't give an error. But in C and C++, all these languages, they are compiler and they are something called as statically allocated. They have statically allocated memory. Okay, so everything happens statically. So now what is static and dynamic? I will tell that. My bad. Yes. So static, dynamic. So static means during compilation. Okay. Dynamic means during execution, also called as runtime. That means compilation means, so if you want to run a C++ program, you make a print hello world in C++, okay, or C. Then you have to say you'll say void main. Okay, first you will include what? Hashtag include. What do you include in C++? It's iostream.h. What do you include in C? stdio.h. Okay, do you know what stdio means? Okay. Oh my god, you should know. Like, I don't understand why they don't teach all this. Okay, so stdio means standard input output, and .h means it's a header file. Okay, now what is a header file? I will tell that. So header file in Python, I think you call it libraries, right, or packages. Yeah, libraries. Okay, so header file is basically equivalent of library. Basically it's a file you include in the header. You get it? And stdio.h means standard input output header file. Okay. Okay. So now void main, or you can also write it as int main. Okay, I will tell what is the difference between this. Have you reached functions in your course? Okay, but in Python you know what are functions, right? Okay, so again, another difference between Python and C++ and C, all these languages, that Python is dynamic. So you can literally just say def myfunc, okay, and then just correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I'm not that great at Python. So print hi. So this is a function. I'll print hi, correct, when called. So notice how we're not saying any data type, nothing. But in C, C++, you have to tell explicitly what the data type of everything is. So in C, if you want to create main function, you can either say void main function, or you can say int main function, write your code, and then return 0. Okay. Why? Because the return type of this function is int. Int means integer. So you have to return an integer at the end, whether or not you need it. That's just some basics. I think you might not require for this midsem, but just to keep in mind. What do you usually use, void main or int main in your tutorial and all? Okay, fine. So int main. Another way to just remember, another way to do it is void main function, where you don't have to say return 0. But because you're doing this in your course, how it's being taught to you is int main. I will teach like this so that you don't get confused. Okay. So now, I will explain some things. Okay. C token. Okay, now I'm going to teach you something. So in C, in Python, you don't have to worry about this too much. But in C and C++, all these dynamic, statically allocated languages, static languages, you need to worry about something called as tokens. Okay. So now what is a token? Token is basically it is a atomic unit of a program, of a code. Okay, I'll explain what that means. So token is all these words. So this is a token. This is a token. This is a token. Everything is a token. Why? Because this is a return type. It's a token return type. This is the name of your function. So it's a return type. It's a token. My bad. And return. This is a keyword. It's a return. It's a token. 0. It's an integer. It's a token, etc. So tokens are basically, I forgot the definition for it, but token is basically the atomic unit of a code. Now tokens can be divided into two types: keywords, okay, or identifiers. Now keywords means, you know, like return, void, all the data types, everything will come under that. Identifiers means whatever names of functions or variables you create. You say x equal to int x equal to 3. Now in this, int is an int is a keyword because it belongs to the language. X is your identifier for this variable. All right? Yeah. So that is identifiers. Now structure of a C program or a C++ program. Okay. So you have your include files, your header files. So stdio.h. Okay. Then you have void main function. Now what is this void main function? Oh, okay. You int main. Okay. Int main function returns 0. So why do we need this? Right? This int main function is the first, it's also called as the driver function of your program. Okay. This means when your program is going to execute, the first point of call, like in Python, if you write a code, right? Say in Python, you write something, you say print hi, print hello. So like it'll just keep executing from the start till the end, line by line. But in C++, it's not like that. Your program, whatever function you create, it will first execute whatever is inside this main function because it is the driver function of your program. So if you want to do anything, if you want to call some other function like int or let's say void print on screen. Let's say you just want to create a function for printing something on screen. So I'll say print in C++ it's printf hi. Okay, let's say like this. So if I want to do this, if I want to call this function, I'll say print on screen function. Okay. So now what does this mean? When your program is going to execute, okay, it won't go, first it will execute this, okay, then it will look for your main function. It will look for your main function, it will come here. Then you will see, okay, there is some code, it will go print on screen, it will go to here and then come back here. So what does this mean? This is like your driver function of your program. Okay, that is the main function. Okay. Another thing is, unlike Python and all these new languages, for terminating every line, every statement or any instruction, okay, you have to end it with a semicolon. This is also called as terminator. Okay. Semicolon is also called as terminator. Okay. I'm just checking my 12th grade notes. C++, is a compiler interpreter. Okay. String.h, body of the code. Okay, now let's look at data types. Okay. Now in data types, you have void. Okay, I'll make a table for you. 2. Okay, so you have void. Okay, you have char, you have int, you have float, you have double. Okay. And I don't know about C, I don't remember. I think it also has Boolean. Okay, I will tell what this means. So void is basically equivalent of saying nothing. Okay, nothing. So if you see, this is called the return type of the function. When I say int, I have to return an integer. But when I say void, I don't have to return anything. So I basically return nothing. So void is equivalent of nothing. So next data type is called Boolean. Boolean means true or false. In Python, you say it like this: true, false. In C++ and C, I think it's true and false, small. Okay, and char is like this, just one alphabet, one letter of the alphabet. Integer is any number, okay, without a decimal point, no decimal point. Okay, float is any number, again like an integer, but with a decimal point. Double is for very large floats. So if you have a number like this, if you want to represent this using float, it's not enough. Now you might be thinking, why is that? Again, in Python you don't have to worry about all this, but in C++ you have to worry, because for everything you have to tell what data type is, and based on this data type, it's gonna create some allocation of allocation in your memory. Okay, I'm gonna show you that. Desktop. All right. No, it won't be wrong. Don't worry. But then, I mean, in your course it won't depend, but like usually it's not recommended to use a double unless required. So why? Because let's say you have memory. So how your computer works is you have your CPU, okay, and that is something you have something called as registers, cache memory, everything you learn in third year. Okay, but for now just remember this: you have CPU. Arey yeah, my bad. You have CPU. Okay, and you have memory. Now every instruction you have, you can either store it in these registers that are temporary storages, or you can store it in cache memory, which you probably might know when you say in your mobile phone you say clear cache. So that is embedded within the CPU, that you'll learn later. But just remember, for anything you're going to store something, you're going to store it into memory. So in this memory, okay, how it's going to be stored is each memory location will be 1 byte. Now what is 1 byte? Okay, so 1 byte is 8 bits. Remember I told you the most basic unit of information is 1 bit, and 1 bit is 0 or 1. Now 8 bits is equal to 1 byte. Okay, so and so on. So 1024 bytes is equal to 1 KB, and then 1024 into 1024 blah blah, it keeps going on. So you got 1 KB, 1 MB, 1 GB, 1 TB, etc. Alright, so whenever you create a variable like say int x equal to 4, okay, you are basically creating or in your C course, are you learning integer as 2 bytes or 4 bytes? Because it depends. Okay, fine. So basically, okay, fine, I'll explain here. Void is 0 because it's nothing. Okay. Boolean is 1 byte. Okay. Char is 1 byte. Okay, then fine. So I think you're just going to use integers instead of Boolean. Okay. So then integer is can be 2 or 4. It depends on the programming language. But usually it's 2. That's what I learned. And float is 4. Double is 8 bytes. Okay. So now that's why it's not recommended to simply put everything as double, because you're unnecessarily going to waste 8 bytes of memory. Alright. It won't make much of a difference for our programs, but if you're going to do very large programs or large projects, it will make a difference. So we want to try to minimize the amount of power and how much memory we require. Alright? Yeah, that is data types. Now there's something called as extended data types, like long, double, short and all. But are you aware of those? Was that taught in your course?
No, like sir just mentioned the data types.
Okay. Yeah, okay, then sir. Okay, so then you got operators. Alright, so when I'm talking about operators, you've got plus, that is an addition. Then you got minus, that is subtraction. Multiplication is star. Division is slash. Remainder operator, also called as modulus operator. Okay. Now this percentage symbol means modulus operator. Are you aware of that? Did you learn it in Python? Okay, then fine. Okay. And then what else? Now And if you want to square something, in Python you do what? Yeah. In C++, I think it's x square. Wait, let me check. C exponent sign. I don't remember. After a point of learning multiple languages, it's hard to remember. Okay, C does not have an exponential operator. So I think you have to use a library function called pow x comma n. So I think you will learn that later, so no need to worry. So yeah, these are basically mathematical operators. So math operators. Then we have okay. Then we have mathematical operators. Now, in mathematical operators, the one thing you have to be worried about, because you're coming from Python, is that, remember, int by int returns int. In Python, it will automatically do something called as typecasting. Okay, another thing. So what is typecasting? Typecasting is defined as the change in data type of a variable for a momentary purpose. Okay, so what does this mean? In Python, when you do integer by integer, it will automatically convert into a float, right? If you do 3 by 2, it will automatically become 1.5. But in C it won't. In C what will happen is 3 by 2 will become just 1. Alright, so we have to be very careful of this. They will ask most questions from this only. Okay, now again, so integer by float will automatically convert into float. So basically, if you do division, the type, any operation you do, the type of the result will be the larger data type automatically. Okay, so if you do 3 by 2 points, if you correct, yeah. And one more thing you have to be very careful, I think, in C is like you have to do some 2.0 f or something, no? C, wait, when I say int, I just say int x equal to 5, but if I want to do float, I have to say float x equal to 5.0 f something. Just check on this, okay? I don't remember this, because in C++ you don't have to, but in C I think I will do this. Just check this, okay? Okay, then we have relational operators. Okay, now relational operators are, you have greater than, you have greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, then what else you have equal to, then we have not equal to. So not equal to is represented as exclamation mark followed by equal to. Okay, so yes, then what else? So now, okay, what is the difference between, this is usually a very typical CBSE question we used to get, is what is the difference between equal to and equal to? Tell me.
One is for assignment. If it is true.
Okay, so this is called as assignment operator, like you correctly said. The single equal to, the double equal to is called as equality operator. Okay, the equality operator is to check if two variables are equal. So when I say int x equal to 5, I'm using the assignment operator. When I say x equal to 5, I am checking if x is equal to 5. I'm asking the question, and this will return 0 or 1. 0 means false, 1 means true. Okay, that is relational operators. Then we have logical operators. Now logical operators are, we have not operator, then we have and operator, and then we have or operator. Okay, so the order of so if you have any expression, okay, if you have like x not of 0 and 1, okay, something like this, you have to evaluate. How are you going to evaluate? Not is given first priority, then this outer bracket will be evaluated. You get it? No. Would you like me to explain it?
No, I understood. So first priority goes to not, and then
And then or, not and or. This is the order in which priority is given. If there are no brackets and everything is just not, 0 and 1, okay, or 3 and 1 and not 1, like something like this. If you have something like this, then first you will evaluate not 0, you will evaluate not 1, okay, then you will do this, then you will do this, and then you will do the entire thing. Why? Because not and then finally or. Okay?
it's just like the Bodmas rule.
Yeah, correct, exactly. Bodmas rule. So the hierarchy is not and or. Any of the conditions are true, output is 1. That is for or. And means both LHS and RHS are and 1. Both are true. So, okay, you probably know this. I'll just repeat just in case. 0 and 1. What is the output?
1,
How? It's 0, na?
it's 0 and 1.
Yeah.
Wait, what's the question? 0 and 1?
Yeah, what is the output of this? 0, logical and with 1. True and false. What is the output?
False.
So similarly 0 and 1 is equal to 0. Yeah, like that. So 0 or 1 is equal to,
True.
so that's 1. Okay, that only. Not of 0 is 1 and not of 1 is 0. Then that's the end of basic operators. Then we have something called as increment and decrement operators. So in C++ we have two ways of doing increment. Okay, so we have int x equal to 5. Now I want to increment this, so I can either do this x equal to x plus 1, okay, or I can do it as x plus equal to 1. Okay, I don't know why this is such a lovely feature, but they're not there in Python. I don't know why. It's so useful. Let's say I just want to do increment this by 100. I just say x plus equal to 100. But in Python you have to do like x equal to x plus 100. Okay. Then what else? Then another thing you have to do something called as increment and decrement, shorthand increment and decrement operators. So if you want to just increase a variable by 1, let's say you have a loop. Okay, I'll get to that. You can just say x plus plus. This is the equivalent of saying x equal to x plus 1. X minus minus is equivalent of saying x equal to x minus 1. Okay. Now this is a type of shorthand increment operator called postfix. That is, the operator is post the operand. Now another type is called as prefix. Prefix is plus plus x or minus minus x. Now I will tell the difference between these. So let's just focus on x plus plus and plus plus x. Okay. So both are equivalent of saying x equal to x plus 1. But the difference is x plus plus happens after the statement has executed. Plus plus x happens after the segment before the segment has executed. I will give an example. So let's say int main. Okay, I am excluding the header files because there's no time. Return 0. Okay, now let's say I have a variable int x equal to 5. Okay, now I'm gonna print in C. It's print f %d comma x. Is this right? Okay. Oh yeah, I didn't tell you that thing. You remember? Do you know the percentage symbols for each of these?
Yeah,
Percentage C, percentage D, percentage F, and I do not know what double is. Just check that, okay? Now, and for string. Now, what is a string? I forgot to tell that. A string in C++ there's a data type called string, but in C it's not there. So string is a collection of letters. So when you say hello, this is a string. And single quotes means it is a character. Yeah. So to create string, I think you have to say char s string char str is equal to hi. Is this it?
I think we didn't learn this.
Okay, then fine. Then chuck. Forget what I just said. Okay, forget string only. Doesn't exist for you. Okay. I was talking about, okay, integer. Now printf x plus plus. What will be the output of this?
Is it going to be 6?
No, it'll be 5. Just check, okay, just in case, because I remember this in C. I don't remember it in C. I remember this in C++, not C, but I'm pretty sure it's like this. So what will happen is this statement executes, and then this plus plus happens.
Okay, so first it's going to put 5. But then if you're going to, in the second statement, you put print of percentage p, then it's going to get 6.
Now it's going to give 6, yes. But if, okay, that's a good question. Okay, so I'll give 2 examples for you. See. So printf percentage x plus plus, okay. So if it's plus plus x, it'll become 6 and 6. Can you see now? So this will be 5 and 6, this will be 6 and 6. Because, you have a doubt? Okay, so that is increment and decrement operators. So this is another pakka question they'll ask. They will ask this in conjunction with logical operators and tell you to find the output and all. Okay. Now next is hierarchy of mathematical operations. That is basically BODMAS. Okay. Remember I showed you not and or is the order. So for mathematical operations or arithmetic operations, how it's gonna be is like BODMAS, brackets. Okay. Then you have, but then in BODMAS we have brackets, orders. That means like exponential. So if you have brackets, then exponential, multiplication or division, whichever comes first. Okay. And then addition or subtraction. In BODMAS rule, what is it? It's BODMAS. So division first and then multiplication, right? BODMAS and then addition and subtraction. But in programming languages, exponent sign comes first. Okay. Then multiplication or division, whichever comes first. Alright. Then addition, subtraction, whichever comes first in that statement. Okay. Then shorthand expression is that x plus equal to 5 that I explained. Now token is the smallest block of C++ program. Keywords identify the operators, punctuators, literals are constants. Okay. Do you know what a constant is? Okay, a constant is, so say int x equal to 5. So const int x equal to 5 means this variable cannot be changed anymore. Be changed again. Alright?
Okay, so we can't even do that increment thing.
We can't. The compiler will give an error. So you might be like, what dumb nonsense is this? Why would you ever need this? Let's just say you want something, you want to create a variable called const float pi is equal to 3.14. And you want to make sure that this will never get edited. Then this is useful. You get it?
Just for just the constant values.
Yeah, because pi you will never want to change it. Why would you want to logically change it during your program? So that's what you would use constant for. Then we have external data types, but you said Sir just mentioned it's not important. Now variables change multiple times on the same statement. Now this is another important question we used to have all the time in CBSE. Where is that example? Okay, this one. Now in this, if I do, again, can you just check this also? I'll tell you. So when this happens, if the same I'll write out my notes from 12th grade, 11th grade. When the same variable changes 2 or more times in the same statement, okay, the execution goes from right to left. but display happens normally left to right. So what that means is, if you have a statement like this, alright, what will happen is, this will happen first, then this will happen.
Minus minus x happens before x plus 1.
Yeah. So the output of this will be 4. And then the line value here will be 5. Why? Because minus minus x happens first and the value becomes 4. Okay. The output will be printed. And because this is postfix, it will happen after the output has occurred. Okay. And then the output will be 5. Just check this. Okay. This is how I remember it. 100% sure. But just in case, I would recommend check. Because output questions, right? You might always make a mistake. So just in case. Okay.
Since you put like twice percentage d, so should we make it go out first?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, correct. So it will be, so this will be 4. This will be, no, this will be 5. This will be minus 4. No, that's a good question. Oh my god, let me think. So, execution happens right to left. And display happens right to left. Left to right. So it's going to be 4 and 4. Because execution happens right to left. So it's minus minus x will happen. So it becomes 4. And both the values will be 4 at this moment. Did you get it? No.
I didn't get that x plus plus 1.
Okay, fine. I'll tell again. So now we have this statement. Okay, forget this. Okay, forget everything else. You have this one single line. Percentage d, percentage, that means two integers. They will be separated by a space. So this line will execute. Okay, let's say we are going to execute this line. Program is going to execute this line. Now I said no, if the same variable changes multiple times in the same line, same statement, execution happens right to left, but display happens left to right. So execution happens right to left means this happens first. Okay, and then this happens. So minus minus x happens means what is the current value of x? So now current value of x equal to, initially it was 5, now it will become 4. Now when we go right to left, this happened. Now we're gonna make this happen, but it won't happen. Why? Because this is postfix. This will happen after this line has executed. So current value of x equal to 4. So it's gonna be 4. And this also will be 4.
But then if you execute that print of percentage d x, then you get
Correct. Percent x, this will give you 5. Why? Because after this display has happened, right? This x plus plus will happen, make this x equal to 5, and then when we come to this line, it will become 5. Okay. Now another thing I wanted to mention was, I feel like something I'm missing. How to store variable, you know that? Okay, I will tell, don't worry. So int, if you take input from the user, okay? So I'm saying int x. Now I want to take input from the user. Take input from user. But what is the function for it?
scanf.
Okay, perfect. So scanf percentage d, comma, and and x. Okay. So how is this different from our print x? Okay. For printing this value, I will say percentage d, comma, x. Okay, this might be a bit confusing, but I'll tell. So what you're doing here is, you're taking input from the user, okay, and you're storing the value in the address of x. So what does this mean? So let's just say I have my memory and I created a variable called x. Okay, I inputted from the user from their keyboard. Let's say they put 25 as their input, and this 25 gets stored in this variable. But where will it get stored? It can't just be stored in thin air. It has to be stored somewhere. So if you store it in the memory, okay, at some memory location, let's say 1000, I'm giving a hypothetical one. Start drawing. Yeah, 1000. Let's say 100 for now. this 25 will be stored. Okay, you will learn this in detail in like second year and third year. Okay, but for now just understand this: whatever variable you're creating, the value will be stored in memory, and each memory address, every memory location has its own address. Okay, now this is an important question. I don't know about college, but in CBSE it was an important question where they would ask, what is the meaning of this AND operator? Okay, and double AND means it is a logical AND operator, X and Y, X and Z, X and 3, whatever. But this AND, this ampersand symbol, is called as address operator. So we are saying, when you say X, when you say int X, a memory location is created in memory. It's allocated. Okay. Now we are saying store this value that is input by user. Let's say user inputs 25. We're saying scan it from the user and store it in the address of X. Okay. Now when I say printf, we don't have to say, we just say the value of X. Now I don't understand why is it not and X here. That is the thing I don't understand, but hey, I don't want to argue now. Okay. Okay. Typecasting also I explained. Typecasting can be implicit or explicit. So I said na double int by int will give int only. So this but int by int will give you int. This is in C++. Int by float will also give you float. Now this is called as typecasting. Okay. When it happens automatically, it is called as implicit typecasting or automatic typecasting. Now there's a way for you to do it manually. You can say int x equal to 5. You can say printf, or let's say int z or float z is equal to 5 divided by double 5, for example. Now this is called as explicit type conversion, typecasting, and this is user defined. That is, I as a user I'm saying this. Okay, then that is typecasting. Then ternary operator, you have something called as if. Okay, you have if else and all, right? So now I'll go to that.
I have a doubt.
Yeah, tell.
So if it's negative numbers, like positive by
Negative by positive. Give me an example.
minus 5
Int y is equal to by is equal to 2. I want to say the output of this. So int z is equal to minus 5 by 2. Okay.
So we'll be just getting like minus 2.5 or something.
It will be minus 2. Why? Because see, you do normal mathematical calculation. Okay. You do minus 2.5.
Can you excuse me?
Yeah, no issues. I'll wait.
Yeah, so if it is like 5 by minus 2, will we still get minus 2 as the answer?
Yes. So I will tell you how you evaluate. Yeah. Let's say you have int. Okay. Minus 5 by 2. Okay. Then you said what is it? Other one? 5 by minus 2. Is it? Okay. So now how you do know mathematically do this? You'll say minus 2.5, and this is minus 2.5 if you do it on calculator. Now what is the return type of the what is the data type of this? This is an integer. This is an integer. Int by int gives you int. So the answer is minus 2. Same evaluation here. Int by int. So it is minus 2. Only thing tell.
It is 5 by minus 2.0.
5 by minus 2.0 f. What will be the output? Okay, now I want you to do it. Come on. So do it normally, like how you do it on paper. Let's say, okay, think of it like this Python. Okay, first you do it like Python. So 5 divided by minus 2.0 f. So what is that? It is minus 2.5. Now think. Okay, so we got this is the actual value. What will C give? This is integer and this is a float. Integer by float gives you float. So this is the answer. Yeah. Okay, we'll proceed. Okay. Next topic. Oh, another cool thing I just want to show you. Whatever change I make here will automatically be updated here in my notes. It's very cool. Yes, anyway. I'll send you this PDF. Then write a program to check if it is odd or even. You want to do a program like that just to get a rough idea?
Yeah, sure.
We'll do, okay, if statement else. We'll do if else and then we'll get. You know if else, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so just for C syntax, is it open book or closed book this exam? Hello? Is this exam open book or closed book?
Close book.
Oh, okay. So I think syntax will be a bit hard, but you know the logic because you already did Python. Okay, so I'll do if else. Okay. So what is if else? It is a conditional statement. It's also called as branching. Because what happens when I have a condition, let's say decision box, is this fun, question mark. Okay, so now I can, okay, is this fun? I can either say yes, this is fun, yes, or I can say no, this is not fun. Arey yaar, why isn't it entering? Don't screw me now, come on. Yeah, so this is how. Have you guys done flowchart so far?
Yes.
Oh shit, that was our teach, yeah? Okay.
Just the C part.
Okay, so flowchart you're fine, right?
Yeah.
So flowchart, this is a visual representation of a if-else statement. If is this fun? If it is yes, if part will get executed. If it is else, if it is no, say I'll give you an example like is x equal to 0. Okay, or another example 1 equal to 0. Is 1 equal to 0?
Is 1 equal to no?
It is not equal to, yes, correct. It is not equal to. So what will happen? This blah part will get executed. And if it is, yeah, if it 0 equal to 0, if that was the if case, then this will get executed. So now to make this into C, I would say if, okay, int, I'll say int x equal to 5. If x equal to 5, print f yes, else print f no. Okay, so what will happen? First you check this condition, then you could, in Python how is it? It is, so in Python you would write this as x equal to 5. Okay, you write it as x equal to 5 and you say if, you don't even need brackets, yeah, what a lame language, man, Python. If x equal to 5 colon indentation print yes, and then say else colon man print no. Okay, so this is the equivalent of this. Now in Python, okay, another thing that you need to understand is a concept called code block. What is a block of code? A block of code is basically like a group of, you could say, group of code that do something related to each other or like they're important together. So in Python, whatever is indented at the same indentation level is one block, correct? So print block 1, print block 2. So what does this mean? This line, these two lines are one block. These two lines are another block. In C++ or C, all these languages, you represent it as using curly braces. Whatever is between curly braces is a block. Now, when you do if statement and else statement, it will, remember this carefully, there are multiple ways to understand this, but this is the easiest way in my opinion. If and else, okay, go to the immediate next block. Okay, just remember this. Same thing with for loop and all, I will tell you. So what does this mean? If I say print hi, okay, I'm saying only if x equal to 5, then print yes, okay, outside.
Wait, so we have to put curly braces for if also or the
Yeah, I will tell. That's a good question. I'm coming to that only. So keep that question in mind. Now, I'll give you another example. I want to tell if both are equivalent. Okay. According to Python, both are equivalent. But is this equivalent? Are these both equivalent? I want you to tell.
no.
Why not?
I think the second one will execute. There will be like two print statements will be executed. If it was simple.
Uh,
I mean the first, the printf yes and hi.
uh,
I mean both of them will execute.
okay. I'll tell. Okay. So x equal to 5. So it is true. So this if statement is correct, validated. Hence, we will enter the if statement. Now, in this, what will happen? What did I say? If and else will go to the immediate next block. So if will bind itself to the next block. So this will happen only if x equal to 5, both of these. So if x equal to 4, let's say x equal to 4, okay? What will be the output? Only outside everything. Okay? But here the output will be high. It will be high outside everything. Why? What does if statement go? It binds itself to the immediate next block. Here the immediate next block is the entire thing with curly braces. Here the immediate next block is this only. You got it? See the output of this.
So like C indentation doesn't matter.
No, it does not matter at all. You can do whatever you want. That's the cool part. And here you will have outside everything, and you will also have high. Here you will only have outside everything. You get it?
Yes.
Here this is not will not enter, hence will only print outside everything. Here this if statement will only bind itself to the immediate next block, that is only this one. So this is basically independent of this. Okay, this is another important question. They will trick you like this only. They won't put curly brace and then you will be confused. Okay, so this is outside the thing. So it's the equivalent of saying something like this. Hi outside everything. Okay, now that is if statement. So now you have if, then you have if else. Okay, then you also have if okay, else if. I think in Python you say it as elif, right?
Yeah.
Elif. But in C it's else space if and then whatever again. So x greater than 5. So x greater than 10. Else if x greater than 5. And then else. Okay? You can also have nested if else like Python. So here you can have if x less than 10. Another cool question. I don't know if they'll ask in the exam. I want you to think about this. Can you minimize this in some way? Can you minimize this if else in some way?
Minimize the row.
As in simplify the if else statement somehow. Okay, forget the else if part. Okay, is there any way you can minimize this? No, I'll tell you something. I do not know if it will come for the exam. Just for your understanding. So this is equivalent to this. You got it?
Yeah. Just be using the
And operator, yeah, it's basically the equivalent thing, because if you say if nothing happened inside here, if something happened here, then we can't simplify. You got it? But here is just direct, so just for something to understand in case they ask, simplify this if statement or something. Okay, now we have if else, we did if else, if nested else, if else, everything. Now next is something called a ternary operator. Okay, ternary operator. So what is it's just a cooler way of doing if else. Okay, I think in pandas or something you have, in Python you can also do something like this, where you can say x equal to 10 if y equal to 5, else else x equal to 0. This is in Python, this is how you do ternary operators. In C++ and C, how you do it is you say x equal to 10, okay, x equal to 10 if x less than, okay, let's say y less than 10, else x equal to 0. This is how you would write it in C. Okay, look, try to understand. Okay, so the equivalent of how you evaluate this would be, first you go to the question mark. Okay, you're asking yourself a question, so you say if, okay, wait, I forgot, oh my god, ternary operator in C. This is what happens if you do too much Python, it's very confusing. Expression 1, expression 2. Okay, let's look at this.
it will, the first expression will be executed if it is true, and the second
Yeah, exactly. It's just that I'm a bit confused because in Python is different way of doing this. So look at this, yeah. If number mod 2 equal to 0, printf, else printf odd number. Okay. Here how you do is you say the same thing. If, okay, so you come here, you say if number mod 2 equal to 0, printf colon the else part. It's the same thing, but it's a shorter way of doing it. If you can write it in one line easily. This is a ternary operator. Okay, so in C it's like if, okay, y less than 10, okay, I just like to put brackets, okay, y less than 10, then x equal to 10, else x equal to 0. This is how you do it in C. Okay, I will remove this so that you don't get confused. Okay, so then we have ternary operator, then we have if else, we finish. Then we have something called a switch case. Do you guys have switch case?
yes.
Okay, so
Switch case.
huh?
I know switch case.
Okay, fine, then I'll skip it. I'll just read my notes. Switch case only for comparing only equality. It is just for an individual thing, so it's an integer or a character, something like that. You can't check greater than 5 and all using switch case. Then it and make sure you know what break is.
Yeah, you have to break after every.
Except default, you don't need it. Okay, so always put break except for default. Then yeah, I think that's it. So next thing is loops. So see, so there are three types of loops. Okay, main three types. You have while loop, you have do while loop, and then you have for loop. Okay, now while loop is something called, okay, why would you use courses don't usually teach you this, but why would you need three different types of loops?
Maybe while loop is better than for loop.
I mean, okay, so everything in programming has some purpose. Okay, if you do not know, if the course does not teach you why everything is different, it's the course's fault. It's not your fault for not understanding. Okay, this is something my my school teacher taught me, where basically she would explain why do we need while, why do we need do while, why do we need for. So you use while and do while, okay, when you do not know how many times you are going to execute. Okay, see, you can use all three loops interchangeably. Okay, it doesn't matter, but logically, for you to understand and be a good programmer, you would use while and do while when you're not sure how many times you will execute. I will give an example. While, okay, So this is a program for displaying the digits of a number. Okay, so digits for number, example for digits of a number. I will tell that, but first I'll tell you the basic parts of a loop. Okay, components, example, components of a loop. Okay, you have, so I will write a for loop, then you will understand easily. So for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, and this is your code. Okay, so now int n equal to, let's say 10. So this loop, how many times will it execute? Tell me.
10 times.
Okay, perfect. How many times will this loop run now? 10 times, right? No, it won't. Why? Because it's I less than n. Less than n means I can go from 1. Wait, I can go from 1 till what? 10. No, 9. Exactly. So I can be equal to 1 till 9. So this will happen 1, 2, 3, 4 until 9. So the general convention is, did you study arrays? Okay, fine. Yeah, so normal convention, let's see, I will explain why we use, but normal convention is, I think in Python you do something like for normal logical reason, if you want to run the logical for loop, if you want to run a loop 10 times, you would normally do it as for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. That's how you would normally do it. No, not Python. I'm just saying, like, logically, if you want to run a loop 10 times, what you will say? From 1 till 10. Right? But in C++, you usually do it as for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. This is how you normally do. I will tell when we reach arrays, you will understand. Okay. So now I will tell what are the components of a loop. Okay. Every loop has these components. First, when you say int I equal to 1, okay, what does that mean? I'm saying it is initialization. Here I'm initializing n value outside and I'm initializing I value outside. Correct? Initialization of variables. Second, what is the second component? We have condition I less than or equal to n. So loop condition. Then we have our code, the code block. Code. So code to run, code to execute, whatever. Then what is the next part? Can you guess? I plus plus. This is called as updation. So now in a for loop, what will happen is, when I say for int I equal to 1, what will happen is this will execute once. Then the code, then this will execute once, then it will check this condition, then it will come to this, then it will increment I, then check this again. So what does this mean? This will happen only once. This
The third part within brackets will be executed only after what is executed inside the curly brace.
correct. So it's gonna be so the order is gonna be initialization happens, okay? Initialization happens, then loop condition is checked, okay? Then code to execute is run, then updation occurs, then initialization does not happen again. Okay, I will draw a flowchart for you quickly. Mermaid flowchart LR. So first we have initialization, okay, then we have loop condition, okay, then we have code to execute, then we have updation. Now after updation, where it will go? It will go to condition. It will happen like this. So initialization only happens once. Initialization happens, condition is checked, the code is executed, updation occurs, and then condition is checked again, code occurs, updation. That's how it do. Initialization only happens once. Okay. So now Now think about this is not a rigid thing. You don't even need this int I equal to 1 part. You can just put it here. Got it?
Yes.
This is not a compiler error. Don't get tricked in the exam. Just be careful. Okay? And even this is not required. Even you can do it like this also. I will tell a very different way of writing a for loop.
Yeah, this is what Sir used to do. Like he used to put I plus plus towards the end.
You can say if I greater than n, break. This is an equivalent for that for loop. You got it? This and this are equivalent. This loop,
The things are right.
both are correct, yeah. So don't get tricked in the exam. Why? Because again, what are the parts of this? Okay, even this is a valid loop. Why? Check again. First thing, initialization. Initialization, yes. Condition. What is our condition? It is here. Yes. Then what is our code? Code is, okay, code will come here, my bad.
Okay, so initialization can be like after declaring for loop or
It has to be before. Because see, when I say for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, the program should know what is the value of n before entering, na? Then only it can check. Similarly, the program should know what is the value of I so that it can check, na?
yeah, no, but then you typed int I inside the for loop. I mean,
Inside the brackets. So this is gonna happen first.
but then you can also do it above that.
Yeah, you can also do it here. Yeah, but this is the advantage of for loop because like everything is collected. I will show an example of a while loop now. Okay, so okay, maybe if I show the while loop, you'll understand. Okay, see. So same thing. If I had to write it in while loop, I'll say int I equal to 1. Okay, and I'll say comma I n equal to 10. This is a way to declare multiple variables of the same data type in one go. You know this? In Python, what you do, you'll say Python. Is there a way to do this in Python where you say x equal to 5, y equal to 10, na? Similarly, this is the same thing. Int I equal to 1, n equal to 10. Okay. So, if I had to write a while loop for this, I will say while I less than or equal to n. Okay. Curly bracket. Another thing. Curly bracket. I'll explain this. Curly. I'll just write curly brace. Okay. While I is less than n, okay, print hi. Now, what is missing here? I want you to look at this flowchart. Okay, if you want to just take a quick picture of this. Okay, and what is missing here? I want you to tell. Come on. Perfect. Or updation stage. Yeah. Oh, it's fine. You got the answer. No, it's fine. So again, now let's look at this loop, analyze it. You have initialization, now you have the condition, you have your code to execute, and you have updation. So how this would work is initialization happens once, condition is checked every time, code is run every time, updation happens every time, it comes to condition again, code, updation, condition, code, updation. Initialization only happened once. Okay. Now this loop, they're all equivalent. Now I will tell why is this equivalent. Let's analyze. Let's just analyze this one. Okay. Initialization happened. Perfect. Condition is there. Yes. Code is there. Yes. Updation is there. Yes. So this is also a valid loop. There are no syntax errors. It is perfect. Okay. Now next is do while loop, and I will tell why do we need do while loop, why do we need for loop, why do we need a while loop. Okay. See. So do while loop, how it works is, do while loop you have to be a little bit careful. So you have to say do, okay, your code, okay, while your condition I less than or equal to n, and then semicolon. Make a note. Do while has semicolon. Very careful you have to be. So what will happen is a do while loop executes first. So okay, normal, what is the loop structure? Initialization, okay, initialization, condition, code, updation. In a do while loop, you do initialization, code, updation, and then condition. So if I want to make this loop equivalent to this loop, what is the purpose of this loop? This will run 10 times, right? Now by default, how many times this will run? This will run 11 times. Why? The condition is checked after running 11th time. So to be careful of this, you can either say I is less than or equal to n minus 1, or you can say I is less than n. Because why? This I is less than n will be checked after the code has executed. We want the code to run 10 times. So now now I'll tell you the difference. So while loop and do while loop, what is the difference? So while loop is something called as an entry controlled loop. Do while is something called as an exit controlled loop. Why? Think about it logically. In this while loop, we are the condition is at the entry. So it's like a door, right? While you are entering the door, I am saying, okay, is I less than or equal to n? If yes, okay, let the program run, let it go inside. So I'm controlling the entry. Here I'm controlling when it will exit. Got it? Okay. So that is the difference between while loop and do while loop. Now, why would you need for loop? So this is just for example. This doing something like this defeats the entire purpose of a for loop. So I'm just gonna skip this. It's not required. But okay, maybe I'll keep it just for you to refer to later. Comments. Are comments in your portion? Okay, chuck it then. I'll just remember single line comment. If you ever want to make a comment, you can just put // in Python. You say this thing called hashtag. In C++ you say // and your comment. Okay, so now what is the purpose of for loop? Okay, so for loop is useful whenever you have something like this where you want to run a particular number of times. See, here it's a bit cumbersome, you have to say int I equal to 1, n equal to 10 outside, and then you have to while. It's all scattered. You don't know what is the whenever you want to run a fixed number of times, then you use a for loop because everything is here. You see, you can say n equal to 10. Now this is a such way easier way to do this rather than look at which is easier, this one or this one. Notice how everything related to the number of times this loop is going to run is in one line. So whenever you want to do something iteration related, as a number of where definitely this loop is going to run 10 times, then it's recommended to use a for loop. This is a design choice. Okay, a while loop will be very irritating because you have to use initialization separately, condition separately, the code, everything is very scattered. That's just the whole point. Why do you need for loop and why not while loop? Okay. Initialization, condition statement, updation, while. One more thing I have to remember. So now if I say outside this while loop, okay, I don't even do anything in this code, nothing happens. Okay, if I say printf hi, okay, if I say I create a variable int I equal to let's see, okay, I'll create a new example. For int I equal to 0 and n equal to 10. Say int I equal to 1, n equal to 10. Now I say printf %d I. What will be the output? Perfect, you got it. Damn, okay. So that reduces my teaching time. So you got it right. When it reaches 11, it will exit the loop, hence it will come here and print 11. Yeah, so that's it. That's the end of loops. Any questions? No. Okay, for loop, everything. Neat trick with for loop. Output. Another important question. Trick question they will ask. Okay, you have to be very careful. So Okay. Now if I say for int I equals to this take code block. Now, how many times will this execute? How many what will be the output here?
11
Think again, what will be the output? Not number of times this will execute. What will be the output?
from 1 to 9.
Okay, so it's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4 till?
11.
No. Exactly. Why? Because this is treated as part of the loop. When it reaches 11, it won't execute this. It will come here. Okay?
Post increment.
Not post increment. It's not related to that. Don't think like that. Think. I'll tell again. This for loop runs how many times? 10 times. Correct. So it'll go, I will become 1, then this 1 will be printed here. I will become 2, 2 will be printed, and so on. And then eventually I will be equal to 9, 9 will be printed. Then I will be equal to, okay, another thing. If you want to print a new line, you say printf %e /n. /n means new line. And see, I think in Python also is the same only. Okay. So 9 will get printed. Then I will get incremented. I will become 10. 10 is less than or equal to 10. Yes. So you will enter the loop. You print again. 10 will be printed. Now I will get incremented. It becomes 11. Okay. 11 is less than or equal to 10. No. So you do not execute this and you come here. Now, what will be the output here? Okay. Printf %d /n comma I. Okay. What will be the output for this?
11. I mean, is it inside for
I need you to think of it. Come on.
It's going to be.
What will be the output? Just tell me the output.
I think it's 11. But then.
What is 11? How will it be 11? Think again.
No, you said that for if and else executes only the immediate state.
Ah, perfect. So what will be the output? Think. Come on.
Only 1 to 10.
Okay. So this is, you're stuck now. I'll explain. So what will happen is, this is the equivalent of saying, now tell me.
Okay, so now it's going to be from 1 to 10 and then it will be 11.
Perfect. You got it? This is how you should do questions. Don't try to immediately do it, because you did Python first, you might get confused. So do something, even if it takes extra time, if you can afford to, rather than making mistake, if you're not unsure about a question, think you have to make a decision. Do you want to skip the question and save time and do something else? Or do it in a hurry and not get any marks, so just wasting time. Right? Yeah, makes sense. So don't do like that. If you are doing a question, do it properly. And then if you're stuck, leave the question. Don't do simply in a hurry and then waste your time getting 0 marks. Right? So this is one case. Another case, now you tell me what will happen. So output of this will be 11. Now output of this will be, let's see, output of this will be 1, 2, 3 till 9 and 10. Okay. Now what is the output of where is the loop? Yeah, here. What is the output of do this? Come on. What will be the output of this?
From 1 to 10.
1 minute. Hello?
Yes.
What is the output?
From 1 to 10.
Tell me the exact output. Okay, I'll type the output. Tell me the output. Imagine you're writing on paper. What would you write?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Like this?
Yeah.
9, 10. Okay. That is wrong. Okay. What will be the output? Think again. There are two printf statements. So it'll be 1, 1, 2, 2, then 9, 9, 10, 10.
Wait, so it's going to execute both the statements.
Why? Because colibris.
Okay, if there was no curly brace, what is the first thing you are getting?
Yeah, then it's this one, na?
Okay, yeah.
Then, and then
When you say immediate next statement, so I thought just
immediate next, not next statement, immediate next block.
block.
So when the program goes through, it sees this as one thing. So it executes this one thing multiple times. Inside that one thing, we have multiple things, but you might get confused if you think like that. Just remember, for loop, if else, it binds itself to the immediate next block. Okay. Now, next question. Very, very, very interesting question. I'm pretty sure they're gonna ask this. Okay. What will be the output of this?
One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
That is wrong. Wait, who said haha? Oh, okay. Okay, so think, okay. Why did you say it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? Good question. Why is it not? I will tell. You see this something called a terminator here? Ah. So what will happen? This will execute. This nothing. It will just loop through. And then what will be the final output? No. Okay. Maybe if I write like this, you'll understand better. What will be the output now?
I mean, you didn't give return 0.
Return 0 for what?
Like when it's inside the integer main.
Assume for everything else they didn't say anything. Okay, fine. Now tell me. No. It's gonna be output. I'll write the output. I want you to understand what is gonna happen. Why? Okay, perfect. For loop execute terminates as well. Then, what is the value of I now? Yes. So this is the equivalent of something like this. Now you tell me what is the output. Wait. Now you tell me what is the output. Now you understood? It's the equivalent of this. So now if I make it simpler for you so you can refer to later. This and this are equivalent. 1 minute. Enama? Huh? 1 minute, I'm just drinking juice. I'm tired.
Okay.
Okay. So, oh shoot, it's been an hour, 1.5 hours. Oh my god, no. Okay, I'll speed up a little. I'm thinking going through these for loop questions a lot because they're like very typical questions that you can expect for exam because it's closed book, right? So, you understood this and this are equivalent because of this semicolon. Be very careful when you go through these questions because you're in the first year and you're learning C for the first time. They can't ask anything complicated, so within the simple topics they will make complicated questions which you won't even notice, right? Yeah, so now that's done with for loops. They might ask draw pyramid questions, right? You know how to do those?
Can you just teach me just one?
Okay, so give me an example.
Just
I should start like a YouTube channel like Tahir Teaches.
yes, please. I'm sure the first year's freshers will subscribe. Okay, like. Can you use a star pyramid like the triangle?
Okay, so the basic one like this. Like this. Okay, so I'll just draw this. So how many rows are there? Okay, 4 rows. Okay, fine. So if I had to do this, I'll think logically. Okay, let's see. How many lines are there? 4 rows. So I will say first, whatever happens, even if you blank out in the exam, please make sure to write these things. Hashtag include stdio.h. 1 mark there. No, I'm joking. If it's a 10 mark question, just for writing this, you will get like 2 marks. Wait, return 0. You create a variable int x equal to 0. I'm pretty sure in this thing, if it's a 10 mark question, they'll give you 2 marks just for this. Because you know at least something how to write C code. Okay. First you write this. Now, let's think. Remember I told my tip is whenever you know you are going to run the loop. Okay, forget everything. Now, we can do this in 2 ways. We can say printf even like this we can do. Correct, na? So we'll get the same output. But why don't we do this? 1, because it's dumb. Okay? 2, because it's not scalable. If you tell me, make this print another 100 times, I can't copy paste it 100 times. That doesn't make sense. Again, if you tell me to change. So we are trying to find an elegant solution. This is not elegant. Okay? Not scalable. Hence, this is why we need loops. Because loops are iterative statements. Iterative statements means anything that happens iteratively. That means multiple times or it repeats. Okay. So why do we need this? So if we're using loops, we'll have something like this. Okay, so I told my tip is if you ever know you're going to run your loop for particular number of time, it's recommended to use a for loop. So we need 4 lines. So I will say int n equal to 4. Okay, these many lines I have, number of lines. Now I will say for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. This is my normal loop. So I'm saying run the loop how many times? 4 times. Why? Because we have 4 lines. So if I just want, you know what, I'll start with the basic example. Forget like this pyramid, just 4 lines. So I have to print this. How would I do it? Perfect. Percentage C. No, why do we need percentage C? We can't directly do this. We can do like this also, right? Percentage C is for character, na? If we store it, right? So I think what you're saying is char ch is equal to like this. Is it not? Yeah, you can do it like this also, no issues. I mean, exactly. If you don't know the answer in exam, no, if you do stuff like this, they'll be like, okay, at least you know the basics. So you can do like this to get marks. But that's worst case scenario. You don't. You might, if you're trying to get the top marks, then you don't have time for all this. So you can just do like this. Okay, printf percentage. So you'll get this. Okay. Now, what the thing is, we want each line to have multiple stars. So whenever there is a multiple, that means it's a loop. So we want multiple lines. We want multiple lines. So we have one loop. Now each of these multiple lines have multiple stars. So we need another loop. You got it? Okay. So we're going to do like this. So this is for running the loop 4 times. Why? So this loop will control number of lines. Now we need another loop to control number of stars in each line. So I would say for, we can't use I again. Why? Because this I is referring to the number of lines. Okay. Can we use, wait, let me think. For int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus. Now I will say printf printf star. So what will happen? Let's go through it line by line. In the first iteration, in the first line, okay, this first line, what is the value of I? Wait, is there a way for me to split this in half? Control, wait 1 minute, control win A. Yeah, perfect. So what is the value of I here now? I is, okay, this is how I usually represent variables. I create like a bucket for them. Okay, this is just a representation of a variable. You know, instead of drawing, you know, boxes and all, I do like a bucket. This is how I learned in school. Okay, so what is the current value of I? Initial value of I, what is it? I equal to 1. Now, so I come here. Now what is the value of, what is the value of j? What will be the value of j? 1. So I'm saying first line, okay? Another thing I forgot. Here, I'm putting slash and y because we want it on the next line. So if currently what will happen, this will just give, this will give output like this. We don't want that. We want slash n also, so it comes in the next line. Like this. No, what is that? It comes in the next line. Correct. But here you have to be careful. We don't want this. Why? This will put a slash n for after every star. We don't want that. We want a slash n for every line. So this printf, I'll explain, don't worry. It will come outside this. Like this. So you draw your stars, then new line. Draw your stars, new line. Draw your stars, new line for each line. So now let's analyze this. So I said I equal to 1, j equal to 1. So we will get 1 star. Okay. Now we will, so now what will happen to j? J will get incremented by 1, correct? So now j will increment by 1, j will become 2. Now is j less than or equal to I? Is 2 less than or equal to 1? No, that means it's false. False means it won't enter the loop, correct? So it'll exit, it'll come here. Oh, it's gonna create a new line. So now it's gonna create a new line. So next output will come here, correct? Now it exits this loop, it comes here. Now it goes to updation of the outer loop. This is called as nested loops. Why? Because one loop is inside another loop. Okay. So now what will happen? I plus plus will happen. Now what does I plus plus mean? In this, what will happen?
Its value is increased to 1 by 1, so it's 2 now.
Ayo, come on, bro. Correct. 2, yeah. Fine. So now I will become 2. Now we enter the loop. Now what will happen? Tell me.
Now it's going to go to the second for loop. J's value is also incremented by 1, so it's 2.
J is already 2, right?
No, the first case it was 1.
Yeah, 1. Then we incremented it 2, na? Then we exited, remember?
Yeah.
So now it's 2. Okay, it's 2. What will happen now? When I go to the second iteration of I, what will happen to J? J will become? J will become 1. Why 1? Let's think again. So every time you enter the loop, you're creating a new variable called J with value as 1 each time of the outer loop. Remember? I am not just simply saying J plus plus here. I'm saying I'm creating another loop with a variable called J equal to 1. Now, so what will happen? J will become 1. Is J less than or equal to I? Is 1 less than or equal to 2? Yes. So I print a star. Now, after printing a star, I will come back to this updation of J. What will happen to J? J will increment by 1. Okay, so J becomes 2. So now, is J less than or equal to I? Is 2 less than or equal to 2? Yes. So this loop will enter again. Now it will print a star.
Oh, okay, yeah, I understand.
Now what will happen? J will increment again. So J will increment becomes 3.
3 is not less than or equal to 2, so it will go to a new line and then.
Perfect. So we'll come this line. Now same thing again will happen here. But this time will happen 3 times. Inner loop will execute 3 times. Now next again, inner loop will execute 4 times. So think about it like this, okay? Rather than thinking just for loop, one loop inside another, like how they usually teach in our college courses, think like this. You need an outer loop for controlling the number of lines. And you need an inner loop for controlling the number of stars in each line. Perfect?
Okay, outer loop to control the
Number of rows, perfect. And inner loop to control number of columns. Think like that also if you wish. Okay? Now to answer your question, I remember you got confused. Why is it reset to 1? You understood that?
Yeah.
Or are you still not sure?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, I didn't understand.
Okay, no issues.
J reset to 1.
Okay, I will tell. Now, do you have any issues in this? Any doubts in this? No. So now I'm adding this. Now, okay, forget this loop, okay? Let's just forget this loop. It's in my clipboard. Yeah, it's in my clipboard. So now, int j equal to 1. Print f %d j. Now j plus plus. Okay. Now tell me what will be the value, what will be the output of this program? Okay, forget new line. Wait just a minute. I will just hide everything for you, so it's very easy for you to understand. What will be the output of this program? Just tell me that. Oh, you know what? Wait. I'll make it easier. First, let's go step by step. Okay. What will be the output of this?
It's going to be like 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Perfect. Okay. This is gonna execute 1, then become 2, then 3, 4. This will happen, but then the loop won't execute again, so it'll just be 4. Okay. Now, okay, so this will be 1, 2, 3, 4. Now this will, what will this be? Arey yaar. What will be the output of this? I want you to think carefully. Think carefully.
It's again going to give numbers. Like 1,
Yeah, numbers is gonna be, what is the value of those numbers? That's the question.
1, 2, 3,
No.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No. Okay. Let's go line by line. Okay. I think you have a slight misunderstanding. Let's go through it. Okay. So now first we create this loop. This loop runs how many times?
4 times.
Why 4? Because this is equal to 4 and we say I is less than or equal to n and I starts from 1. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 times. Now, okay. So now what will happen? I am creating a variable called n with value 4. I am creating a variable I that ranges from 1 till 4. So as of now it's 1. Now I'm gonna, let's focus on j. Okay. Now in this example, okay, what happened? First iteration, we printed output as j, so it became 1 as the output. Okay, so this is, let's say this is the output. Okay, out. Okay, so now what is the value of j? We said initially j equal to 1. We print the output here. Can you see my cursor? We print the output of value of j here. Then we increment j, so j becomes 2. Then we check the loop condition, blah blah blah. So then we print again, so it becomes value of j is 2. Then we increment, it becomes 3. We print it. We increment value, it becomes 4. Okay. Now again we check is I less than or equal to n. Yes. So no issues. We print 4. Now we increment j, it becomes 5. But unfortunately by this time we 1, 2, 3, 4. I will also be equal to 5. I will also be equal to 5. So is 5 less than or equal to 4? No. So loop does not execute, hence we don't print anything. So output ends here. You understood this, right? Okay. Now, in this what happens is same like that, but we create a variable n, same like before, n equal to 4. We create a variable I equal to 1, okay, over here. Okay. Now we create, now this is a tricky part. Okay. So I think because you're from Python background, maybe it's confusing for you, but basically what happens here is first iteration, I equal to 4, I less than or equal to 4, yes. So we enter the loop. Now we enter the loop, we create a variable called j equal to 1. Now we print it. So output, oh my god, I can't write. Anyways, output will be 1. Now we increment by 1 because j plus plus will become 2. Perfect. Now what will happen? You come to the updation I plus plus, so I will become 2. Is 2 less than or equal to 4? Yes. So now we enter the loop. Now again I am redeclaring this variable. You see, I'm saying again int j equal to 1. So what will happen is this will get scratched and we are creating another variable j and setting it as 1. Are you getting it?
Yes. It's going to just give 1.
1, 1, 1. Yeah, exactly. So it's going to be 1, 1 1 1. No, what is that code I saved in my clipboard? Is it this? No. अरे यार. Where's the thingy? Printer. This is. Yeah.
So even if you wouldn't type J++, like it makes no difference.
Yeah, it won't makes no difference because every time, every iteration of this outer loop, okay, every iteration of this loop, J is redeclared. Okay, I forgot to tell you that. Okay, so there are 3 stages of a variable. Okay, so first you have to declare it. Okay, so in C++, variable. So you say int x equal to 5. You're doing 2 things here. You're not just declaring it, you're also initializing it. Okay. Now what is the difference between declaring and initializing? Declaring means int x. You're creating a variable called x which can store data of integer type. Okay, this is called declaration. Other thing is x equal to 5. So this statement and these 2 statements are equivalent. Initialization. Okay, this is combined. Initialization and declaration combined. Okay, so what happens here is this is an equivalent of this. So this is called declaration, this is initialization. Initialization means you're just putting the value. Declaration means you're creating a variable of this data type. So what happens here is, like you said, even if J++ is not there, it doesn't make a difference. Why? Because each time you're redeclaring the variable J. Got it?
Yes.
And each time you're redeclaring, you're also each time you're reinitializing. So even if I said this, it will still be the same output. Why? Because each time of each iteration of the loop, I am saying set j equal to 1. Here. So it will become j++. Let's say this is there. J++. It'll go to it'll check the I value, come back. Again, I'm setting j equal to 1 only. Same thing. Yeah, that is that. So do you have the star pyramid code? I think I lost it. You have it, right? Or do you want me to write it?
Wait, you don't have it?
No, I seem to have forgotten lost it while copy pasting. Okay, I'll write it quickly. 1 minute.
No, otherwise it's okay.
I'll write fast. I'll write fast. It's okay. Return 0. This thing. For int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to n, I plus plus. Okay. For int j equal to 1, j less than or equal to I, j plus plus. Print f star. Okay, and you would think now everything will come on the same line, so we'll put /n, but we don't want /n to be between each star, so I will put the printf outside the inner loop but inside the outer loop. Why? Because this is controlling the number of lines. So just before closing the number of lines, I'm going to say print a new line. So after each line after printing stars for each line, I will print a new line. Got it? Okay. Hashtag include IOStream. Okay. Where is the pyramid? Yes, got it. I don't know. See. Okay, got it. Now, do you have jump statements, break, continue? You don't have it, Pakka?
Yeah, I'm hearing it for the first time.
Okay. You attend all the lectures? Okay, so okay. Just be careful. I am pretty sure jump and continue will be there because it's for loop. Break, jump, continue will be there. Break statement, was it taught to you in class?
I mean, break statement in the case
In this course, was it taught? Okay, then don't need to worry.
the other thing.
Just check, okay? These two words, just check if they're there. There's something called as jump statements, okay? And inside jump statements, you'll have something called as break, continue. Just check this, okay? Okay. So you know break, right? So if I so if I put okay, let's make it simpler for you. I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. Okay, I'm saying print f percentage d comma I. Okay, what will be the output? This, come on, easy.
Going to get from 1 to 10.
Okay, so okay, make it simpler. I'll make it 1 to 5. So what will be the output? 1 to 5.
Yeah.
Now what will be the output of this? If I equal to 3, break. What will be the output of this?
It's going to once. Just 1, 2, and 3.
Think again. I know you can do this. Okay, so
If it is okay, so maybe 1, 2, 4, and 5.
no, okay. I think you misunderstood break. Okay, so that is the output for something else, which I'll come to. So what will happen here? What does break do? Okay, now break is a jump statement. Okay, what is a jump statement? A jump statement is something that shifts the control point away from this current section. Okay, let me think of a better way. So what happens in break is that when you break, it goes somewhere else. So rather than even this won't get printed. Okay, if I print this, it won't get printed. Why? When it breaks, it won't print this. It'll go directly to some other location. Now what is this other location? Break statement is a jump statement that exits the current loop. Okay, write this down carefully. Now, come on, not now. Where is break? Yeah. Now same thing when I do with. Now you tell me what will happen in here. J equal to 1, J less than or equal to 5, J plus plus. Okay, what will happen here if J equal to 3, break? Oh, another tip I want to give, I would recommend, because you're still kind of confused because you're coming from Python background, everything you just put curly brace. Don't even think, oh, it's a single statement, binding, forget everything. If you are writing program, put curly brace for everything. If it's a for loop, curly brace. If statement, curly brace. Else, curly brace. While, curly brace. Everything. Okay? Excuse me. Yeah. So, what will happen? Which loop will break exit?
The last element.
That is...
If j equal to
No! If j equal to 3 is not a loop. It's a conditional statement. Break exits a loop. So what will happen is, if this happened, if j becomes 3, break will exit its current loop. So it will exit this loop and come here. Here what will happen, break will exit this loop and come here. Remember, break doesn't just exit every loop. It will break will exit the loop it is in currently. Okay. So now what will happen, break it exits. So what will happen in this output will be 1. Okay. I'll put percentage d slash n, percentage d slash n. It will become 1 and 2. Then what will happen, we will think it's supposed to print 3, but then when it comes 3, if is I equal to 3, yes, so 3 equal to 3, it comes here, it breaks. If it breaks, it exits its current loop. Current loop is this entire thing, so it will come here. Now it won't print anything because it has exited the loop, so this won't be accessible anymore. Okay, so yes. Now the other thing, okay, in here maybe nested loop might be a bit confusing, so let's not do that for now. The other thing is the continue statement. Continue is similar to break, but the difference is while break exits the loop, continue goes to the next iteration of the loop, goes to the update segment of the loop. I'll explain what that means. This means continue will now go to, so if I equal to 3, so what will happen, 1 will get printed, 1, 2, like normal. Then continue will say 3 equal to 3, yes, so continue will happen. Now continue will not exit here, continue will go here. It'll skip the current iteration, basically skips the current, the code of the current, the below code of the current current iteration, then continues as usual. So what will happen is here 3 is 3 equal to 3, yes, continue, so it will come here. Now 3 plus plus will become 4, 4 less than or equal to 5, yes, so it will print again here. So the output of this will be 1, 2, 4, 5. Got it? Yeah. So now that's break and continue. These are called as jump statements. Then there's something called as go to and exit of 0, which I do not think it's did you learn about go to?
No.
Okay, then it's okay, let's leave that. So while, do while. Another thing, remember I said continue goes to updation, continue goes to updation only for loop, update segment of the, what's that now, for loop. In other loops it goes to condition. I will explain. So here when I said continue would make the control go to I++. Now if I wrote this as a while loop, so I'll say int I equal to 1, okay, while I less than equal to 5 and I++. So what will happen here is we'll say output will become 1, then 2 normally, then I equal to 3, is 3 equal to 3 equal to, yes, so we do continue will now not go down, it will always go up. In for loop it goes to updation, in while loop it goes to the condition, in even do while loop it goes to the condition. So it tries to go to the next iteration, which is here. So it comes here, checks again, 3 less than or equal to 5, yes, so again this keeps going, it will become an infinite loop. Okay. Then for do while, So now let's analyze. Remember, do while, at the end of do while there is a semicolon. Has terminator, be careful. Okay. So int I equal to 1. So we're gonna do, we'll see is I equal to 3? No. So we come here, we say printf %10, so output will be 1. Then we come again here, is 2 equal to 3? No. So we come here, print 2, then increment 2 plus plus, so become 3. Now is 3 equal to 3 equal to 3? Yes. So continue. Continue will go now what to the condition. Condition is here. While I less than or equal to 5. Yes. 3 less than or equal to 5? Yes. So it will come again here to the do part. Is 3 equal to 3? Again continue. So again this will also become infinite loop. Okay? Fine. So that's go to statement you don't have. Now digit problems I do not think you have, where you have to use while loop to get digit of each number and all. Do you have that?
No. I mean, yeah, we did do the programs, but using for loop.
Okay.
Like sum of a number.
You think you can you can do that?
Yeah.
Okay, then fine.
This is like the last one.
So some typical questions are like display each digit on a different line. Let's say you have an input a number from a user, display each digit on a different line. Then count how many times an inputted digit is present in a number. So user will say 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Okay, let's say 333. User inputs 333. User will say find how many times 1 is inputted. We will say 0. If the user says find how many times 3 is inputted, then we say 4. Exactly like that. Count the occurrence or frequency of a number in a inputted number. That's another question. Another question is find sum of digits, like you said. Then find the if a number is an Armstrong number. They will explain what is an Armstrong number. They will tell in the question paper. Then they will say input a number and a digit and display if the digit occurs, yes or no. Write a program to find sum of digits in an inputted number until the sum is a single digit number. So if the sum is less than or equal to 9, then it's fine. If it is greater than 9, then you do not add the sum. Maximum can be 9. So it can be 0. Sum can be 0, 1, 2, 3 till 9. If it becomes 10, you don't make it 10. You just keep it at 9 only. That is another program. Then input a number to check if it's a prime number. That's an important question. Write a program to reverse and input a number. Check if a number is palindrome. Check if a number is perfect. Write a program for Fibonacci series. That is another important question. Okay, all this. Then the pyramid questions. Yeah, those are also very good. Reversed pyramid. Instead of pyramid, they will try to write numbers. All this stuff. You know what? I'll try to send my notes. These 11th grade notes. Another important question is out of scope of exam, but write a program to find prime numbers between two inputted numbers. So they will say 35 and 40, and they will say try to find the prime numbers between these two numbers. That is another type. There's something called Floyd's triangle, which I will explain in the question. Then write a program. Yeah, I think that's end of loops. Okay. Now we'll go to arrays. Okay. Now what is array? I really like arrays. I love explaining this topic. Okay. So what is an array? Array is a linear data structure. Okay. A linear data structure. It is a collection of elements of the same data type. Okay. In Python you have list. It is not equal to list. In Python, list is a collection of elements of the same or different data type. Right. In Python you can write like this. Just check. Yeah. X equal to 2 high 3. Is this allowed? This is allowed, right? Because this is a list. In array is the collection of elements of the same data type. Now you might be thinking, why is this useful? Okay, if list is so convenient and we can have different data types, why do we need arrays? One thing, because it is a primitive data structure. Primitive data structure. I didn't explain that. So there's two types of data types. Data types. Yeah. So there's something called a primitive data types. Primitive is whatever comes default in your programming language. Now there's something called as primitive and user defined. You can create your own types of, you can create your own data types. Okay, not in the scope of current exam. Now anything that is simple, okay, if you try to minimize its complexity, simpler systems will always be more efficient than complex systems. Might be thinking why. So think about this list. Now in this list, the first element is an integer. So it is how many bytes? 2 bytes. Here this element is a string. Did you learn strings currently? No. Okay, then fine. So but I'll tell you, don't remember this for the exam, just giving explanation. This will be, the size of this will be 3 bytes. The size of this will again be 2 bytes because it's an integer. Now notice how the data, the amount of storage in each element is differing. This is an extra processing for the computer, right? That's why when you have collections of elements of the same data type, it's easy to process because each element is the same data size. That is why you need arrays, right? That's why it's always better to use basic data types. The closer you are to the basics, the faster you have, the faster operations you have. Okay. Now what is an array? So I will draw this diagram. Now array is a collection of elements of the same data type. So this means yeah. So this means an array is represented like this. Array yaar. You have a rectangle, okay, and then you have like this. So this is index 0, index 1, index 2, index 3. So each, let's say you have an element, that is another thing I have to explain. This is the first time learning arrays, right?
Yeah.
You learned list in Python, I think.
Yeah. Does data frame
Kind of, they are similar, yes. But data frame and data structure are more related to dictionaries and lists. Array, okay, I will tell you something. There's something called as mutable and non-mutable. I think in Python you must have learned. Tuple. Array is basically a tuple. Array is equal to tuple in Python. But in Python, even in tuple, you can have multiple data types in the same list, same tuple, right?
Yeah, but enclosed within normal.
Like, okay, so tuple equal to 2 comma high comma 3. This is valid, right, in Python?
Yeah.
The issue is in array it's the same data type, but only same data type. Okay, so array is represented like this. So you can draw it like this horizontally. Each is a memory location or an element of the array. So if I create an array like 25, 30, do you have 2D arrays?
No, just one.
Then fine. So for simplicity I'll make it 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, you can also represent it as ten, 20, 30 and 40. Either ways, it's your wish. 1D array means one dimensional array. You can represent it in either way. Okay, so now the size of an array is fixed. Similar size of array is fixed. It is non-mutable, non-changeable. Okay, so size of array is fixed. If you create an array, you cannot change the size of it later in the program. Okay, but then, so then you might be like, okay, so why not just create an array of like a million elements? The issue is each element will occupy each, when you, okay, tell me how to explain it. So array is statically allocated. In Python, this list is a dynamic. So every time you, so as in when you create this list, okay, 2, high and 3, the amount of memory required for this list is only for 2, high and 3. If you add another element, you take more memory. Another element, you take more memory. But array is not like that. Array is fixed, right? So once you create it, you can't change it. So if you create an array of 100,000 elements, even if they are empty, you will still waste 100,000 elements ka memory. Okay, I think you didn't understand. So I will create an array, creation of array. So in C, it's like this. C, int, okay, x bracket 10. This is how you create an array. To create an integer, you say int x, right? Create an array, you say int array of bracket 10. Now this bracket 10 is the size of your array. Size of the array means number of elements, or you say, other way like this, length of the array. Okay, int length equal to 10. So if I want 10 elements of this array, I will say int length equal to 10, int array of length. So now what will happen in the back end? This will happen. Oh, come on. You will create 10 empty locations. Okay, dot. Then 10. So this will be the 10th element. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 till 10. Now the thing is, arrays in C are 0 indexed. I'll tell you what that means. Arrays are 0 indexed, as in index starts from 0. Do you know what index means?
Yes, even in Python it's
Okay, then fine. So it's gonna be 0, 1, dot till 9. Yeah, okay, so you know that at least. Perfect. So now this is how we create an array. So you can either create like this, or you can directly that is another thing. It has to be constant, I think. If you want to 1 minute. So this is the simplest way of creating an array, okay? But if you want to create something like this, int array of length, where you want length to be a variable, then you have to make this length as a constant value, because the value of this array has to be a constant value, because 10 is a constant value. So length also has to be a constant value, like this. So these are two ways of creating an array. Now to initialize creation or declaration. Initialization. See. So if you want to initialize the values, you can say like this. Array of 0 equal to 1. Array of 1 is equal to 2. Like that. So what will happen now? 0th index will become 1. First index will become 2. But the remaining will still be empty. Notice how in a list, right, when you create a list in Python, only these two locations will be generated in memory. But an array is statically generated. That means it's generated during compilation time. That means when you execute the program, this will already be created, these empty locations. So they'll unnecessarily be staying. That's why you have to try to get a good balance of an array size. If you make it too big, you're going to waste memory. If you make it too small, you won't be able to store all your elements. That's a compromise. But then, because arrays are statically created, as in during compilation, it will be faster processing than a list, because it has less overhead. That means less extra processing time is required, which you will learn later. Okay. So for now, this is important. So you can either do it like this, or you can, Another way is you can say like scanf percent. Okay, I'll say int num percentage d and num. Okay, array of 2 equal to num. Okay, then percentage d again. So I'm trying to basically what input the values, but this is going to be too cumbersome. If I have 1,000 elements, I can't keep writing 1,000 times. So what comes? Loops. Yeah, for loop. Why for loop? Because we know definitely how many times you're going to run the loop. You can do using while loop also. It's like recommended using for loop. So I'll say for int I equal to 0, I less than length. Okay, or you can say what is the length? We know its length is 10. Okay, I plus plus. Okay, now the question is, why didn't I use for int I equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10? Tell me. Okay, one minute. Scanf percentage d. Another question will come here. Okay, array of I equal to num. Tell me what will be the error here.
Oh yeah, because for arrays, index starts from 0, right?
So okay, so now will this give an error?
No, it has to be I is equal to 0 because index starts from 0.
Perfect, that is fine. But will this give an error?
Yeah.
Why?
If you like when you're initializing it, if you put it 0, then it wouldn't give.
Okay, I want you to think carefully. Okay, let's look at it. First, what is the first step of an array? We are going to declare the array. Okay, array r. Okay, so I declared an array and I called it as array. Now remember, the name of an array will be a, do you know what a pointer is? Okay, a pointer is a variable that stores address. Remember in the beginning I told you something about memory, CPU memory. So where is all this value, where are all these variables stored? They are stored in memory, correct? So let us say my house. I want to tell where my house is. So I can either take you to my house or I can tell the address to that house. So rather than me storing my house, like literally I'm making an exaggerated example, rather than me carrying my house, I can carry the address of that house so that you can visit it, correct? If you want to visit my house, I can either bring the house to you or you can visit my house using the address. Same thing here. You can either store a value, let's say 10, you can store it in a variable, or you can store it in a variable and have another variable called as a pointer which stores the address to that 10. Okay, so maybe it wasn't very clear, but I'll give an example. So everything has a address in the memory location. Okay, now when I create an array, this 1 is the value, but a variable can only store one value, right? A memory location can only store one value. So rather than storing the value of each element of the array, the name of the array is a pointer to the 0th index of the array. What does that mean? So when you say array of I, you're saying go to the address pointed by array variable. Okay, this one. Go to the address pointed by array variable. Okay, and then go to the ith index of that. That means array plus 0. So this will be 0th index, first index, etc. So you're saying go to the location pointed by array, go to the 0th index, first index, etc. So now if I create it like this, I'll tell you why this won't give an error. Why this won't give an error is because I initialize the array, correct? Now I'll have 10 elements. I'll have 10 elements. And now this will be the 9th index. Say I say 80. Why this won't give an error is, if I had this as 10, it will try to reach the 10th element which does not exist. 10 does not exist. So this will give an error if I put this I less than or equal to 10. But if I put I equal to 9 till I equal to 1 till I till 9, there won't be any error. It's just that this will be some random value. Are you getting? No. Well, I will explain again. No issues.
Just the last one.
Okay. So I declared the array. I declared the array. 0th index, first index, etc. Dot dot dot. Then till 9th index. If I say I equal to 1 till I less than or equal to n, that means I will store, let's say, 10 here, 20 here, 30 here, and then 40 here eventually. Correct?
Yeah.
There won't be any error. It is just a logical error from my, there won't be any compiler error. There won't be any C error. It will just be, the only issue is that when I try to print the array at the end, this will be a random value. So it won't be an error. It will just be a mistake from my side. Got it? So, logical error. Perfect. It won't be a syntax error. The program will not stop because of this. You have to be careful. Okay? No error. Now if I want to, so if I want to input all the elements, I will do, I would do like this. I less than or equal to 9, or I less than or equal to 9, I can say I less than 10. See. Okay. Yeah. So now another thing is, if I want to input the array directly. Okay. So now what I'm doing, I'm creating a temporary variable in between. So I'm inputting the value of inputting the value from the user, storing it in the address of number, and then I'm storing array of I equal to number. Correct? A direct way to do this would be, for int I equal to 0, I less than 10, I plus plus. I don't want int num. I just directly want to store it. So how I would do that is, this is why you should understand what is a, this is why I explain what is a pointer. Scanf %d, because I'm going to input an integer. Okay? Comma array of I. What is missing? What is the difference between this and the previous example? Yeah, perfect. Output is going to be same. What is the difference in the code? Apart from losing number, there is something missing. Some operator or something is missing. Why? Because number is a value variable. It's a variable that stores value. We want to store any value we get from the user into an address. So we are saying, take the value from user, store it in the address of this number variable. Now here I told you, what is array? It is a pointer. It itself is storing a address. So I'm saying store it in the address pointed by this, because it's already a pointer. So no need to say and. No and. Okay? This is why I said the pointer, that thing. So the name of an array is a pointer to the first element of that array. Okay. Done? So we have two types of arrays. We have numeric arrays, which can be 1-dimensional, 2-dimensional, 3-dimensional. You'll learn all this, but that's later. The second type is character arrays. They're also called as strings. So what is a string? It's a collection of characters. But you don't have strings for now, so I don't want to explain it now. You might get confused. So some questions you can expect from array is input an array having a maximum of 20 elements and display the array with each element on a separate line. So let's look at display. Display. So it will be C for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus. Okay, not let's forget n. I less than 10, I plus plus, print f percentage d array of I. Now this will print all the elements. We want it on a different line, so I will do like this. Okay, display each element on a different line. Another question you can expect is declaration. So this can also be like float array of 10, char array of 10. Now that is a string. Can be double array of 10. All are valid. Okay. Okay. Now next other question you can expect is input an array marks for n students and display those marks for which marks is greater than 60. So let's do this question. This is a very nice question. It's a basic question that you can expect for the exam. Okay, so example question. So first thing is input an array marks for n students and display those marks which is greater than 60. What did I tell you? An array is a non-mutable linear data structure which is statically allocated and is a collection of elements of the same data type. So this means the size of an array cannot be determined during the execution of program. So user cannot say what is the size of the array. We have to create an array and input how many elements the user wants. That is the logic. So if I were to write an example, so I'll say hashtag include iostream.h. Okay, then I would say void main function, or okay, int main for you, int main function return 0. My basic stuff. Now I'm gonna create an array int n. Not int n. I'm gonna create an array int array. I'm saying array as this. Okay, I'm just gonna create an array of 100 elements. I'm just assuming a random number. Now if the user tries to enter 101 elements, there will be an error. That's why we want to keep this as big as possible. So 1000, 10,000, okay, fine. If you go like 100,000, a million and all, you're gonna waste memory, because what if you create 100,000 elements or million elements, but user only inputs like 2, 3, so you just wasted so much memory. That's why you have to be very careful when creating an array size. But for exam, you can assume, okay, let's int a of 100, it's fine. So now I will input. Now we can't just keep inputting 100 elements. We have to input how many elements the user wants first. So I will say int n. I'll say scanf. I'll say okay, printf. Please enter number of elements that you are going to input. Then I will say scanf percentage d comma and num or n. Okay, now I will say for int I equal to 0, I less than n, I plus plus, printf enter number at index, like this. This is how I would usually do my programs. Enter number at index percentage d. So it will be like enter number at index 0, so user will input. Enter number of index 2, index 1, user will input. It will go till n minus 1, right? So at the end, user will input 0 till n minus 1. That is basically n elements, and this n elements that the user decided, and these are the number of inputted elements. The number of elements that the capacity of the array cannot be changed. The size of the array cannot be changed. The number of elements in the array, that can be decided by the user. Okay. Now we'll say scanf %d, comma, at the rate, not ampersand is not required because it's an array, so array of a of I. Okay. Now this is input number of elements. Now this one is input the elements. Now what does it say? Question says display those marks which is greater than 60. So display marks greater than 60. So what will happen here is for same for loop. Okay. Now I will say, normally I will say printf %d, comma, array of I. But now it says what? It says only print those marks greater than 60. So what I can do like this, I will say if a of I greater than 60, printf %d a of I. Got it?
Yeah.
Other way I could do this is, or if you don't want to specify a of I again, then you can do something like this.
Wait, what is A of I?
A of I is array of I. Okay. Shall I replace that? Okay, fine.
Dude, aren't you so tired?
I am very tired, but what can I do? I was hoping I would finish this, but like the for loop we got stuck, right?
I think you can take rest. Like you can go drink some water.
Okay. Are we done with the portion? Or we have anything else?
No, this is it. Array is like the last thing.
Okay. So yeah. So this is gonna print all elements greater than 60. So you don't have searching and all, right?
No. Array is like the last thing.
Okay, fine. I think that's it. All the best. I'll share this document to you. Okay?
Thank you so much.
No issues.
So sorry for the trouble.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. I love teaching. No issues. Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
All the best.
All the best. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.